listening to the Stories of Subi podcast, which has been produced for the Subi East project. The Stories of Subi are brought to you by DevelopmentWA in collaboration with Creating Communities Australia. The Subi East area has a rich history, and we're bringing you conversations with the people who can provide interesting perspectives on the great memories, history and changes they've seen. Bill Dempsey is a legend, although he wouldn't describe himself as that. He's played in numerous premierships, won a Simpson Medal, was inducted to the WA Football Hall of Fame, picked for the Indigenous Team of the Century, and has a gate at Subi Oval named after him. We recorded this interview at his favourite restaurant near Subi, around the corner from where he lives.
I mean, I grew up in Darwin. I grew up in the mission. The reason why I went to the mission was my dad died when I was 3. The authorities deemed that my mum couldn't look after me. They came along and were going to put me in an institution. They were going to take me from Alice to Darwin. But my mother, being a strong woman, she said, "No, you won't take him, I will take him." So I thought she abandoned me. You know, I was only 3. But my grandfather and my grandmother were the only 2 people who could get me out of the mission during holiday time. My grandfather said, "Look, I know you got no father, but I'm your father and your grandfather rolled into one. So don't worry about it. You know, whatever you do in life, you give it your best shot and just make our family happy." So, I said to him, well, I was only 16 when I got the offer to come here. And I said, well, who's going to help me? He said, "Come with me." He took me into the bathroom and he said, "Look in the mirror. See that person there? He's the person going to help you." I didn't have any aspirations to or think I could play footy. I just you'd go with the mob. But I was lucky enough to get an offer to come to West Perth. I might as well have a go. It took me at least 2 seasons to settle down because I was very homesick. Didn't have any friends here, and I came here when I was 17. Over the years I made some lovely friends. Never regretted it. West Perth were like a family club. There was Yugoslavs, and Croatians, Italians, Greeks. I was the odd one out. They didn't know what I was when I first came here. So the families took me in and sort of like adopted me.
Tell me about playing at Subi Oval. What was it like there?
Oh, it was very daunting. Subi's probably one of the biggest ovals. It was. To actually, run out onto the ground. Days I played, like 69 grand final, there were 55,000 people there. Mind-blowing. I never actually heard the crowd, except when you ran out, But once the game started, there might as well be no one there, because I concentrated so much on playing the game, racial abuse and all that. I never heard any of that, because I just switched myself off. I personally played in 4 grand finals there over my career, and we won 3 out of the 4. Pretty special.
Was there one particular grand final that stood out to you?
Well, the 69 grand final especially, because that was the year the footy club brought my mother down from Darwin to see me play. I rang her up and I said, "You got to come to Perth, the club's going to fly you down." She said, "Oh, can't I catch the bus?" I said, "Mum,
It's going to take you a long time.
The grand final will be over and gone. You've got to get on the plane." See, she was never been on a plane.
Never been on a plane.
Yeah, she said, "Oh, I can't go on the plane." But lucky, there's some people from the territory with her, and they brought her down, so it made her feel, And she enjoyed it. She loved it. All the West Perth people, they just swarmed her. Not only did we win, but I won the medal. My mum associated everything with the Northern Territory. So when she's telling all her friends about coming in for the grand final and that, and she said, to make things, really good, Billy won the Simpson Desert Medal. And I said, "Mum, it's got nothing to do with the..." She said, "Oh, shut your mouth." When Cyclone Tracy came and blew everything away, my mum lost everything, and the medal. But she wouldn't tell me that, that it was lost. It was my brother who said to me, "Don't bring it up because she's so embarrassed." I went and seen the Simpson family. I said to him, "Can you do me a favour? Since Cyclone Tracy, my mother can't find that medal. Would you do a duplicate for me? Because when I go home at Christmas time, I could give it to her." And he said, "Yeah." He said, I said, "Look, I'll pay for it." No, don't be silly. I got the medal and took it home. Not long after I gave her that replica, that's when people from South Australia rang me up and said, "Oh, 2 prospectors looking for opals have found this funny looking rock." Guess where they found it? In the Simpson Desert. How spooky is that?
That's so spooky.
It is, yeah.
That's amazing.
And she said, "I told you it's the Simpson Desert medal."
That is an incredible story.
You couldn't even make that story up.
Bill, let's talk more about Subi Oval. A gate has your name on it.
Yeah, well that was a sort of icing on the cake. My grandkids used to go there and I said, "Oh, Pop, let's go through our gate." Yeah, and they'd point, "That's my Pop up there." It's a big honour, just to be recognised like that. All my relations who'd come here visiting, they all wanted to go down and have the photos with me underneath the gate. I was very proud of it, yeah.
Do you feel, you live in the area, do you feel connected to Subi Oval as a place?
Yeah, I do. I bought a house in Subiaco. I lived in Subi. I was very close to Subi Oval. I lived in Townsend Road, and Townsend Road ran across Bagot Road. Where I grew up in Darwin, the mission was on Bagot Road. I used to tell all my friends and my family and all that.
I'm back.
You'd never guess. I said, where I lived in Perth. Bagot Road. "Oh, that's where we lived." I said, "Yeah, that's right."
What do you think is important as a legendary footy player, as a proud Aboriginal man, that you want to pass on to future generations?
My theme is when I talk to these lads, you'll never know what you can do unless you have a go. I didn't know I could play footy, but I said, "I'm going to have a go." Football's been great to me, absolutely. So I said, "Look, if anything, God knows what I would have turned out to be." I said, my childhood was growing up. I was in a mission for 13 years until I came to Perth. So I'd tell the kids that I talk to, just keep your head up and whatever you do, have a go at it. When I first came here, when I was 17, there was 8 teams, right? 400 players playing waffle. I just wanted to look around and see how many Aboriginal players were playing so I could maybe meet up with them, and I counted Polly Farmer, Ted Kilmurray, Erwin Lewis, who just died, Ted Davis from Swan Districts, and me. 5 out of 400, that's all there was. Look at it now. That's good that, Aboriginal players are, making a force to be reckoned with. That's the gospel I preach to talk to kids, especially Aboriginal kids. You never know how good you are until you have a go. Well, I brought up with the saying, "Never let it be said your mother raised a squib."
Don't be a dad. That's a good note to end on.
Yeah, that's what I tell all my kids, and never let it be said that your mother raised a squib.
Thanks for listening to the Stories of Subi podcast. It was created by Creating Communities Australia for DevelopmentWA.